back, everybody, to another episode of Polite as Fuck. We have a special guest on. Round 2, baby. Round 2. Oh, no, round 3.
My siblings are like, when am I going to come on?
Get in line.
Savannah's been on 3 times now.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Our first guest, right?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
Just on for a brief story today.
well, let's dive into it. You guys went into the spa and you said you had a fun story, and it's clearly visible that there's a story behind it.
Well,
so...
actually, this was just from going to the beach.
Oh.
We were just standing at the beach and I got hit in the face with a football.
What?
Really hard. Really.
Like, I had glasses on and a hat, and it hit, like, everything in my teeth, like, clumped together, and now I have a massive scab, and it's very tender to touch.
It literally came out of nowhere, like all of a sudden.
I
Crash.
hate that. People that throw... Oh, I can. This is so...
There were these 2 children. It was
Two, maybe 13-year-old boys.
They felt really bad.
Immediately put the football away and got on boogie boards.
Yeah,
We were done with
yeah,
that.
good. Oh my
But it
god,
was
that
really
fucking sucks. Did your glasses break?
No, they just smashed into my head.
They're actually just a part of me now.
Right.
But it's been a crazy weekend. Savannah's here, and our grandma passed away, got hit in the face. The only thing Savannah asked to do when coming was go to the spa. And I feel like spas are very expensive. I sent a few options that some friends had recommended, and it was just like, are we really about to drop like $300 on a facial?
Yeah.
Like, I just can't. And so I had gone on Reddit, and this place had come highly recommended. It had like...
Don't look at me. I can't.
It had like saunas and cold plunge and hot tub and steam room, and you could do body scrub, facial. They also had like dry, like regular massages and stuff. And it was
Dry massage.
it was like half the cost. You could do like a $40 day pass and just do like
all the amenities. Yeah.
So we were like, perfect. This sounds great. Take it away.
Oh.
Switch.
Well, I feel like everything was lovely when we first walk in, and we get like a little basket with these giant shorts and like a smock tunic top.
Okay.
And that's like what they give you instead of a robe, which was honestly really lovely.
Very
it was like so comfortable.
Okay, so we like that part.
We like that part. But we walk in and get our lockers set up, and she's like talking through everything really fast. So we're like listening, but also trying to just like assess where we're at. And so we're like, okay, we'll put our suits on and then go explore the situation.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly realized that it's not like a clothing optional situation. You must be naked. Like, you can't wear any clothing or suits in any of the tubs or the sauna or the steam room.
That feels weird. But
So
okay.
everyone, I mean, it was like a ladies' side and it was a gendered situation, but fully nude. So Eric and I are like, okay, I'm glad we're in this together, but we're just going to be in it naked together. And so we like...
It's a bit of a turn, but
Totally.
okay.
Yeah, it was like, I was like, I'm down to like be topless, but have my shorts on. That was not a
everything
thing.
is out.
You
All right,
have to fully
cool.
be naked. So we did like the cold plunge, which was really cold.
Were there a lot
And-
of people there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
pretty poppin'.
We were the minority also in that setting.
Yeah, not a lot of white people.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
which was
I
totally fine.
it feels like all
Obviously.
naked. Yeah, I understand that. Okay.
Everything was like not necessarily. I've been to a spa several times in my life, and I've never had experiences outside of that. And the clothing optional situation at the spa in Reno is like, people just tend to wear their suits, and it's like a more modest environment, like very American vibe. And this is very much not that vibe.
Got it.
Which is totally fine. It's kind of like, if everyone's naked, then nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Like, we're all
like you're
just
all in it.
letting
Yeah.
go of that fear, I guess. So yeah, we did the cold plunge and the hot tub, and then we did the steam and sauna, and then we were like rinsing off, getting ready for. Do you want me to like?
Yeah.
Am I telling the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, we're like rinsing off, getting ready for our. We both had a scrub and massage, and we're in the showers, and this woman walks out and is like, "We're all numbered. We're 17 and 18."
You have like a chain
We
around.
have like a bracelet with our number. So she was like 17, 18, and so we like get out of the shower and go follow her, and we walk back into this hallway and enter
Oh no.
this room that I feel can only be described as like a meat preparation, sanitization, slaughterhouse is like the vibe of where we walk back, and it's just plastic covered tables with naked bodies on them, and like steam and hot water being poured, and like it's loud, and I like didn't even have time to look. I was walking in front of Erica. We couldn't even like look at each other because we're getting like ushered back to our table, our plastic covered table. And all of the women working there were also assigned numbers. I was like with female number 4. And they're all wearing like bras and underwear because they're just like, they're like these older Korean women, and it's hot back there, and so they're like basically naked too.
Yeah.
And we get down on these plastic tables that your body's just like sticking to as you're sliding up.
Yeah.
And
They're like dumping buckets of water on you, and you're just like.
Oh my gosh.
just fully exposed in the lineup. We're just like animals coming to the slaughterhouse.
Oh my god, guys. I think I've had this exact same experience.
Have you been?
I've not been to this one, but did they like lift for the body scrub? Do they have this like hand scrub? And they
Yes.
literally like like they took my leg and they lifted it this way and they went all the way up and then all the way down and then put your leg back and then took your other leg and flipped it around and went all the way up.
Like
I was
in
like,
your butt
in
crack.
your butt crack. Everything was scrubbed.
I've never been scrubbed like that in my life.
Oh my
Where
god.
did you go for this?
This is hilariously hilarious in my head because I was gonna tell you guys this story yesterday before you went to the spa, and I remember thinking about it, but like, you know, when you're like thinking of something but then other stuff comes up, and then by the time like we had left, I was like, so whatever, like this one story, whatever, it didn't matter. And now that this exact thing, I'm like, I should have fucking told you guys or
Yeah, we
warned
had
you.
no idea what to
I didn't
expect.
either. So this is when I came back home when I was living in Australia, and we came to visit for Christmas, and we were flying out of SFO to go back, and Anais had booked a Korean spa for us because SB had recommended it, and I was thinking spa where you have the robe and they massage your feet, and then you go in and they close the door and you take your robe off and you cuddle under the blankets. Shock. No, I am understanding. Like, as soon as you were like, no, we were numbered and ushered into I was like, oh no. And there was like a plastic screen that was just like covering, oh no.
So, which is fine. I feel like it was just the shock of the expectation of what my spa experience has been.
Yeah.
And thinking that that's what we had signed up for. And then it just being like, we're just bodies
Brutal.
being, like, scraped and scrubbed.
Yeah, you're laying there and like all your dead skin's just like around you. Like the clumps.
And then
of
she
hair.
just shoves it off with a bucket,
Yeah.
and it just, you wash it like,
Yep.
oh my.
It was so insane.
God.
Great scrub though.
My skin
Really
is very
scrubbed
smooth.
down. Really.
I was gonna say, you guys look like you have no pores. I'm like, just
Scrub this
just,
right off.
yeah.
I mean, it was like my toe is currently broken, and I'm like, there's no time for me to communicate anything to her. It's just, I'm just gonna let. If she's gonna
Or break your
bend my
toes.
toe, she's gonna. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, I can't. It's
Not gonna tell her no.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm like, what are the products being used? I have no idea. We're just in it for the ride. So like after the scrub, we both are in the showers because she was like, go rinse off and then come back. And I like walk over there and Erica's in the shower and we're just like wide-eyed. I'm like, there's so much to say that we can't say anything at all.
Oh my gosh. At least, I think in my experience, like, at least the amenities, like, there were different rooms, kind of like what you guys were describing. Those were a little bit more tranquil and, like, relaxing. So I was able to, like, come back and enjoy those and be like, oh, okay, now that I know what this is, I can, like, sit and, like, relax. So there was that at least. But no, it's a change for sure.
You're
Yeah.
like entering another country.
At least now you know,
Yeah,
and like now that I know what it is, I'm like, oh, I'd go back now that I'm aware. But in the beginning, I was like, I don't feel like, I even told Anise, I was like, I don't feel like you prepared me for what this was supposed to be. I was
Right.
thinking,
Did she know?
yeah, oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so, because I don't remember her being as
Shocked.
shocked as I was.
That's so funny.
I think my favorite part was when we both sat up, like our legs are out and we're just sitting up, and they give you like a bucket of milk, and they're like put it on your face, and Savannah's like across from me, and we're both just like putting milk on our face. I don't
it
know
real
what
milk?
it was. It
I was like,
smelled
It just looked like a milky. I have no idea what anything was that was being.
But you know what? The Korean skin, I'm kind of like, you guys know what to do. So
Right.
I'm not going to tell you no.
Right.
So here we are.
Yeah. So here we are, and the oil. I mean, I've never been more greased up in my life. Like it was so just spray me down with this oil. It was crazy.
Did you get to keep the shorts and tunic?
No.
Oh.
I wish.
No, but we did like relax in the other
Meat
rooms.
locker.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing. There was a cold room, which I've never had that at
No,
a
that
spa.
doesn't seem right.
And it was just like AC. Like
It
is
felt
what
like a really nice room.
yeah, it felt like 67 degrees, like a nice cool temperature. But it looked like a meat locker. Like there were these poles on the wall, like with ice all around them, and it looked like we were just in a giant meat freezer.
oh my god,
And
how
everywhere,
scary.
the pieces of meat. It was really
Or
Post
being,
oil.
yeah, post oil.
yeah. Yeah.
What do you call that? Post marinade.
Right, right.
It was crazy. I never experienced anything like it.
No.
But that's also so interesting that you have, because I'm like, I feel like I came in and explain it. Everyone needs to go to a Korean spa. And
Yeah,
know
and you'll
for
know.
themselves.
Yeah.
I thought I knew what a Korean spa was, and I did not. I think I thought it was more about like day spa vibes, like you have access to all these amenities, and it's like, you know, the pools and stuff, but I didn't really realize the rest of that.
Yeah.
And I think that in the other massage rooms, it was like a more normal, like a, not normal, but like a more
Like your
typical like European style spa situation where you're like on a massage bed and they do the massage. And this was like, since we got scrubs and the oil massage, we were in like the wet room with all the other wet bodies.
Oh.
So,
That was really wild.
Yeah. Well.
But we're both like down to do it again now that we know.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Like even explaining it, it's not fully capturing like the feeling of being on that table.
Yeah.
I did not expect to be thrown around like that. They knew, and it's like they died. Oh my god, I understand. This is like crazy. I was just, oh god.
The side was really rough.
Yeah,
Like,
when they're like, lay on your side, and you're like, and she's really just getting in there.
yeah, you're like crunched up, and she's like moving your leg and just getting like in your butt.
Yeah,
And
and it's just
scrubbing.
like, well, at least we had this like little freaking tea towel, smaller than a washcloth. Did you not have anything?
She like slapped a thing on.
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
It was
doing
kind of
much.
moving around as I moved around.
I don't know what it was more for. I don't know. Neither of us really, because it wasn't doing anything.
Right. I feel like that part of the shock of it all is like being publicly nude, and I'm like, I haven't done that.
Yeah, ever.
Ever.
Like I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't put that. Do they even put that in the fine print? How would you even explain? Body will be. It's like a roller coaster. It's like a
Right.
laying down, very immersive, touchy roller coaster.
Yeah, you're like actively participating. It's not a relaxing
No.
vibe. Erica was like, maybe I'll fall asleep for a little bit. I
No.
don't think so.
No sleeping happening.
No,
on this.
no.
And there was like a face mask as part of it too, but I had like, she had put a towel over my eyes. So there was just so many
Can't
sounds
watch what's
happening.
happening.
Yeah, and at one point I'm hearing like scissors by my ear, and I'm like, what is coming next? I have no idea what is happening. And then she put like these little things over my eyes, and then like a cheesecloth over my face, and put the face mask over that, so then afterward you can just like peel the cheesecloth and it will take all of the mask off with it,
Oh.
which was like a good technique. But I was like, didn't know a face mask was a part of this. Didn't know. There was just so many unexpected variables.
Interesting. Well, you guys made it out alive,
We did.
so
And it
my
was fun.
lord,
It was a
can't wait to do it
cultural
again.
experience.
Next Labor Day.
right. This morning we're
A
like,
year.
that felt like a fever dream.
Yeah.
The whole situation.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, that was our spa
That was the
experience.
spa. Would recommend.
I can't believe you guys went through that. That's crazy.
So
Way to go.
funny. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that the house is literally set to 81 degrees and it's so hot.
Yeah, it's 81
It's
degrees.
like 81 degrees for indoor temperature is not normal. But I don't want to pay $10,000 to have 70-degree home.
I know.
Anyway.
I think we only have like a few more weeks of this, like 1 week, I hope. We'll see.
It looked like it was getting down into the 70s.
And then you know what time it is.
Ooh, fall. Crazy.
All right, well, let's dive into today's topic. Honestly, oh my gosh. Okay, Ellie, you don't need to beat around the bush. Just talk about it. I don't really know why this thought came into my mind, but I just had lots of thoughts actually about being friends with an ex and our experience with that, as well as like how social media has impacted that, because I think that plays into the conversation. I say that because a few different like lines of my thought here, my thought bubble here, is when I was just kind of thinking about like green flags and red flags just in general, and I think the one of a common red flag is like having too many, say like some people would say like if they're interested in a guy, a red flag is like having too many female friends, and whether or not they're friends with their ex. And got me thinking about a lot of things. It got me thinking about like no contact and like participating in that, which is like as soon as you guys break up. And then it brought me a lot of like thinking back a lot to our breakup episode, and just like having like the difference between like a situationship breakup or maybe like a more short-term relationship breakup, and navigating that versus like a more like an like long-term, more long kind of relationship that ended, and how to like navigate that and the difference between the two. So I was like, well, what better place to talk about it than the podcast?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. I think I'm just going to start off with like my own personal like background, and which is why I wanted to bring up like the social media piece, because to say that I'm not friends with exes would be a lie, because I am on social media. But then I think like about no contact and the difference with that. And so honestly, like I kind of just Googled this really quick of like what Reddit would say or what certain things would say. And I came across a clip from Jay Shetty, and an interviewer had asked him like, can you be friends with an ex? And it was just like a TikTok or a YouTube short. So I didn't know, like I didn't look too much into what interview it was. But he basically brought up 2 points, and the first one was, what is it? Emotional
Maturity?
Yeah, emotional maturity, and then romantic clarity. And like, I think the first like big piece for me, and something that like, I wouldn't even say I look for, because I really do find it a red flag if you're friends with your ex, but like if you are, do you have that romantic clarity of like establishing like there is nothing left, we're not like 1 foot out the door, 1 foot in, just to like see if there's something still there. And so that was like a main thing that like stuck out to me too, because I'm like, I feel like even with social media, being friends or like following one another, or in situations where like you see them and you pass by, like that romantic clarity I feel like is the biggest and most like strongest, if not important, piece as well. So yeah.
I just have so many thoughts. Because I feel like you can have the romantic clarity, but that doesn't mean that they have that. And you can't guarantee that they can say, this has been my experience recently, they can say like, yeah, I'm good with that. We can do that. That's great. And then it's like not great actually, and they're not ready for that. And it's like if I feel ready and I feel like that's okay and I feel like I have that clarity and then they don't, then it still doesn't work. Even if they're saying that they are, because you don't know where their feelings lie, and then they're maybe like getting upset by something that you said or did when it's like, I thought that we had established this, you know?
Yeah, and that's where I like, to me, like I always try to like have the benefit of the doubt and like see the other side, but to me it's like that's where the emotional maturity piece comes in, because it's to me it's like once you gain a certain amount of emotional maturity, you realize like the relationship ended for a reason, and like you're, to me it's like that contact, to have friends, to have a friendship with people is a connection and like a type of relationship that requires like, you know, a little bit of a push and pull in the sense of like what is required in order to maintain the yada yada yada. You can go on and on. So it's like, why with someone that you were sexually intimate with and had like a sexual committed like relationship with, would you all like, how can you now have that? And if you have emotional maturity, then you should know that you can't have that within. So it's like seeing these clips and things like that and asking yourself, and like even my like own questioning of like, can you be friends with an ex, and drawing like the boundary and stuff is really like, I guess, yeah, what you're comfortable with, but also just like your sense of boundaries and understanding like what we're both here for, and like the unspokenness of it all.
Yeah. I'm not friends with any of my exes. I feel like there were times after we broke up in all of my relationships where like there was like a moment of weakness, if you want to call it that, or just like this curiosity of like, what are they up to? Like you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling like maybe the relationship is better than I remember it being, or whatever it is, and you reach out or they reach out and you talk for a second, and then you're like, nah, this ain't it. And I do think that not being, well, at least for how I was feeling, like not following them on social media was helpful for me to kind of get to that place where I'm not having more of those moments of reaching out. Because I do think like not my past relationship, like 2 relationships ago, I would get really drunk and then reach out to him. And then I would like the next day be like, why did I do that? And it felt like I had like taken a lot of steps backwards, so to speak. And then I'm like, okay, now we need to go no contact again type thing. So I feel like I blocked him on social media because I unfollowed him, and then I would still go look him up. So then that doesn't help. So I had to like literally be like, it's not even an option to look into you. I deleted his phone number. I like tried to make so that there was no chance for me to do that. And I think now if I was to like see him back home or something, it would be fine. Like I feel like I'm in a place where I'm like, I could go to coffee with him or whatever and like be his friend, but like I don't think there would ever be like a friendship, if that makes sense.
Totally. I was gonna ask something. Oh, do you think all relationships that end, whether long-term, short-term situationship, I wouldn't really say like one night stand, but some sort of like emotional connection there, should result in no contact?
When you texted me this idea, I was thinking about it because I was like, especially if you start as friends before you date, I could see there being like well, we were friends first, and like I appreciate that person in my life, and like I would like to have a relationship with them. But I do think it's like you need a little bit of time not having anything there to kind of like reset. Because I just feel like it can get really confusing really quick if you're like, oh, we broke up and then the next week we're going to be friends. And I've also tried that. And it's like you kind of ease back into like old habits of talking or whatever it is. And then it's like, wait, what are we doing? This is confusing. We just need to not talk for a second.
Yeah, I agree. I think I look back to a lot of my like past relationships, and I think the healthiest thing that almost everyone can do is like do no contact right away. And I think the longer that you do that, again, allows like that healing process or whatever, kind of just like time heals all and like makes things not as like big as they once were. Because I think too, like, again, not to like play devil's advocate, but it is just like, because I have had situations where we were friends 1st. And so for me, it's like I try not to be a hypocrite, because I truly do find it a red flag if I'm dating someone and they're friends with their ex. So I really try to have to remind myself that. But I am a people pleaser. And so like when someone reaches out, or like we see each other in the street, or like we're all friends, you know, so it's like our friends are hanging out with each other and we're there. So it's like, oh, I'll just people please. And then it's like, you know, then there's no lack of emotional maturity, and then the romantic clarity gets a little blurry because like there was a connection there, whatever it may be. I just think like, why did I lose my train of thought? What was I saying? Oh, my point was that like in those situations, even if we're friends, like that blocker, that moment, that time where we are like having contact, like no contact has not been established because of we're friends or input whatever, you know, whatever you want, it makes it harder and harder to get over. And also just like, I think a lot of the times, especially recently, my eye opener has been like, is it blocking other opportunities? Is it stopping other relationships? Is it stopping other friendships? Is it unhealthy? Is it whatever? And so I think back to like the moment, the time, and it's different for everyone, but like that no contact that is established, whenever it's established, the longer you go with it, the easier it is to then maybe be friends on social media, or if you do run into each other because you live in the same area or you're friends with each other's friends, makes it a little bit easier. And then there's that sense of like, to your example, like, yeah, you could go have coffee, but that doesn't, and be their friend, but that doesn't make you friends, which I think is like a big difference as well. And for me too, like, I just have trouble, like, I already have my own type of relationship with like the past and letting go of the past, also staying attached to the past and remembering things. And as you get older, like I don't want to let some of those moments go. Like if they were in college or a moment in time, like a fun time, a move or something like that. And so for me, it's almost like I've used that as an excuse to break no contact, because I'm like, I don't want to forget about that time or that moment or whatever. So I think for me, what has been helpful again is like, if I want to get back to that point where it is like cordial enough to be like, you were such an important part of my life, and establish some sort of like boundary or whatever, that can only be established through like a long period of no contact. So yeah, that was my point that I finally was able to get out.
I agree. Maybe it's the Aries in me, but I'm like, I'm really good about just being like, no more. You're out of my life. And I do think too, like, yeah, you were such an important person. We had such a thing. I'm like, it's never going to be the same as it was.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, maybe it would be a really nice friendship and it's going to be different. But I'm like, for what? Because I want to remember it as like, for what it was, and this really nice relationship that we had, or not, maybe not nice relationship, and like I just want to remember that, and I don't want to try and like make a makeshift thing work. Like I was reading, someone on Reddit was like, yeah, I'm friends with my ex, and like we realized we didn't work romantically, but like we do work in a friendship way. And I'm just like, I feel like I have friends.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
don't
I'm
need
like,
more.
I don't need to try and force something, like especially when you share in like when you're intimate with someone. I feel like that's hard for me to be like, and now I'm just gonna hang out with you as my buddy. And like I don't know, I just doesn't really work for me. It feels like forced. It feels like, but I know you on a different level, so now why am I pretending like I don't?
Yeah.
And why am I even putting myself in this setting where I am? Maybe that's emotional immaturity, I don't know, but it seems like there are so many people in this world, so why am I trying to force continuing to have some type of relationship with this person when like we had it and it was what it was and I appreciate it for what it was and now I'm moving on.
I think it lacks, or like you lack growth. Like you can't grow. That's another thing of what I was saying with like the boxes or limiting like door, like it stops other opportunities, because I think when you're friends, you're having this, I don't know, sometimes it's like when you break up, it's because you're going in different paths, like physically, but also like emotionally and like even mentally, you know, in different phases in life, and life takes us a different way, and you start thinking about things differently, and like that's beautiful in a way that like we had the same thought for a moment and like now we're ready to move on. And I think if you try to continue to go back, you're really just kind of jumping back to that same like emotional maturity level that you were at with them, and it's like I don't think that's good for either of us. Like I can respect and love what we had in the past, but like I respect you enough, and myself most of all, to like not want to be put back into a moment that was like not healthy, no matter how fun of a time that we had, no matter what cool experience we were experiencing or whatever it may be, no matter how many mutual friends we might have. But it's like I don't want to be pulled back to who I was then, because it clearly wasn't working and I'm ready to like grow somewhere else. But it's also, I think the tough thing, and that's why like no contact is so important, is that like comfortability. And that's like, that's the whole point though. You got, it's almost like too comfortable. There was no sense of growth, and you're attracted to going back to that comfortable because it's what you know. But then you have to remember, and by you I mean myself, of like like yeah, you're comfortable, but the whole point of that was like you're ready to be a little bit uncomfortable or put yourself in a different opportunity. And I see that with, like, if I go out on dates and I am getting to know someone and I realize that like they're friends with their ex, or they still run in that same circle, and then when I see it firsthand of like, oh yeah, you've been with that person, it just makes me view your emotional maturity level very, very low, because I'm just like, you're just running in the same crowd, so to speak. And I just, I don't want to judge, but that's just been my, you know, my experience.
Yeah, it's interesting with like, we ran into our friend Patrick the other day, and he was there with two guys, and he made the comment of like, when you date the same people that you're friends with, like you date the same gender that you're also friends with, it can be really hard to like, you just are kind of always friends with people that you've gone out with. And I can see that, because that is like different. It's different than dating someone. Like if I'm dating a guy, it's easy for me to not be friends with them anymore. If I'm dating a girl, I feel like it's hard, because most of my friends are girls, and I would like, if that's who you're hanging out with most of the time, I think that's kind of where it gets like not incestual, but that's how our friend Jordan also described it, of like everyone kind of dated everyone, and you're like, oh yeah, that's her ex, but they're friends, and then they introduced me to her, and I can see it getting like a little bit messy, and maybe that's where it's different, of like being friends with an ex. But I also think that it depends on like how long you guys dated. If you went out on a date with someone and you're like, this isn't someone I'm gonna date long term, that's different than like, we dated for 4 years.
Yes.
We lived together.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be friends with them. That feels like...
Very different.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, there's definitely a difference in the type of relationship that you have had with the person. And like, obviously it's, you know, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I can see that's like so difficult and so messy. It gets... like, wow, wait, what? Then you got to start drawing the family tree, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is like bad.
Yeah, someone on Reddit said that they introduced their ex to the person that they're married to now. And I'm just like, I'm thinking about my exes, and I'm like, if I knew someone and I introduced them to my ex and then they started dating, maybe I'm just so immature, but I would be like, this is weird. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. And I kind of think that's why I don't follow my exes on social media, because it's like, even though I don't ever see myself dating them again, I don't see, like, the ended for a reason, I also don't want to see you.
Yeah.
I want you all to have all the happiness and to grow, and I want, like, that's great, but I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
Is how I feel.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think, like, I mean, I think too, like, it really is just, it makes for good television, and that's about it. Especially, I think of, like, friend groups and things like that, and I'm like, you know, they make it all work, and then especially, like, the same kind of situation that you were saying of, like, you go out and you meet new people, and then you get involved in their friend group, and then you start to, like, you know, hang out with someone, and then you start to see, like, oh, but they also dated this one, and then they hooked up with this person, and then this, and then you hang out with their friends, and it's just, like, so much deeper. And it's like, I try to, like, in the moment of hearing that, just kind of, like, understanding of, like, I guess, like, they're all friends. I mean, like, Ross and Rachel did it, I guess. And I just am like, but did they? And, like, it just got messy, and then they ended up having a kid. So it's just like, I just don't know if I gravitate towards that. And exactly what you said of, like, I already have enough friends and should put time and energy into those rather than trying to figure out, like, whatever that this may be.
Like, force a friendship with someone that it's like, this is going to take so much work.
Yeah.
To, like, make this, yeah. And I know myself, and I know I can, like, have a moment with a person where I'm like, wait, but maybe. Or, like, wait, why did we break up again? Like, well, this is so good right now. And then you start going down that path, and it's like,
which is normal because you're around
normal.
people and you kind of have those thoughts with anyone you're around, whether it's like a friendship or a relationship or you're in a group. Like, you're always just going to have maybe not those exact thoughts, but, like, things are going to pop up. So, like, why would you already put yourself in a, like, position where you know, you never know, and then it could just, it's like a very, like, slippery slope. So
yeah, I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
I think
there's a difference between, like, how you like respect and being friends too, because
Yeah.
to me, like, when I was thinking about this topic and saw friends, like, I really, like, I didn't mean, like, friendship, but I do think of, like, in friend groups, for example, if there was, like, a situation and now, like, they are in the same area or same, like, space as that person that they may have had, like, a relationship with, but they're respectful, but they're not like, oh my god, hey bud, what's up, and, like, having a blast, but you can tell that, like, hey, how are you doing, like, and then they go their separate ways. Like, in those moments, it's like, yeah, they're friends, but
Yeah.
if anything, they're more respectful to one another and, like, speaking respectfully about each other, and then
Yeah.
keeping that distance rather than being, like, BFFs, you know?
I think I'm a jealous person.
Same.
I do really try. I do think it stems from, like, infidelity experiences in my life where it's, like, can be kind of triggering, where I'm like, why are you talking to them?
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yep.
But I'm also like, yeah, literally why? Like, they need to talk to you about this certain thing because you're the only person in their life that knows how to, like, I'm like, I'm sure she has other people she can talk to this about, or other resources. It doesn't need to be you. That's where my mind goes.
Yeah.
I just
As
don't,
it
I just
should.
don't understand. I'm like, it feels like there's maybe an ulterior motive, and you might not think that, and you might be like, well, she just wants to know. Like, it's just a question, and sure, answer it, but I'm also just, like, highly suspicious.
Yeah. And that's, like, where your emotional maturity comes in of, like, well,
Yeah.
fuck, am I able to, like, recognize this for what it is?
Yeah.
And be able to, like, establish some sort of something. And fuck, that's hard. Because you can know. You can know what you want, and you can know what I was saying before of, like, dipping toes back into waters that maybe you shouldn't dip your toes into, but it's like that comfortability and things like that, but it's like, you know, I know I'm gonna do it anyway, but I know, no, I'm not
I, like, go to coffee with an old coworker who's a guy, and when I was dating my ex, I think that was, like, a little, because he had never met him, he was like, why are you going to, and I get it. But then when he did it, I was like, like, I know my relationship with this coworker, and I know that there's literally nothing there. We've never dated. There's never been anything. But now you need to see your old friend from high school just one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. It is. That's that trust
So-
piece.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I have to go back to, like, I have no reason not to trust them. There's no, like, what that insecurity and feeling I'm projecting onto them is coming from a different place and a different experience, and I should not take it out on them, but it is so hard.
Yeah. But it's also like when I see that you are friends with exes and we're hanging out, like I can't help to be like, well, who's there? What are you doing? Why are they on your store? Like, where I can't, it like brings the worst part of me. So it's like, it just all around is like a snowball effect to like not a great relationship. So
Do you think it's different if, like, you are in a relationship and they are also in a relationship? Like, if...
no, because in this day and age, relationships don't mean shit. Like people are so shady and sneaky, and like I don't know their relationship. They don't know my relationship, and like it feels almost worse because then it's like you both are being okay with being disrespectful to your partners just like blatantly. I don't know. I guess maybe, but even still, like if that was the case, I wouldn't want them hanging out. Like I don't think it would be appropriate if I were to hang out with them without my partner there, because then it just feels like an excuse, because then I can sit there with my girlies and be like, oh well, it's okay because they're also in a relationship. I don't know. It all like depends on what you're personally comfortable with, and also like ask people too. Sometimes like every situation is different. I think it's a lot harder to navigate when it's a short-term relationship. With
Yeah.
these longer-term relationships that I've had, you know, I guess like real actual like exes of mine are no contact. It's healthier that way. There's no need to the emotional maturity piece and like the growth and all of that. There's like that respect there, but there is that no contact. It's the fucking short-term ones that are getting to me. It's
really
these
hard to
little
cut it.
ones.
Yeah. I
Snip, snip.
understand. Because I was also just reading, someone said, like, my ex-wife and I are friends. But I can see and I would hope that
Oh, but
if you
that's-
have children involved.
Yes, that is a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing, because I feel like that's a different, like, level of maturity and, like, understanding that, like, I still want to be civil and respectful to this person because
have
we
children.
created life.
Yes.
And we have other people in the mix now. It's not just us.
Yes.
And I think that is different. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, am I being a hypocrite now because I'm saying that? I don't know.
No, not at all. Well, I think that's different because I think in our experience, like, that's like a merit. I don't know. Yeah, the kids piece. I think that the kids piece is big. If you were to tell me that they were friend, like my ex-wife and I are like friends, and there's no kids, I'd be like, why? Again, are you friends, or are you just respectful to each other when you see
When
each
you
other
see
in
each
the
other.
supermarket?
Yeah, like, are you still hanging out with
Yeah.
each other? Because Summer I Turned Pretty, they're friends. They keep hooking up. They're divorced.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
becomes very messy.
yeah, there's definitely a difference there.
Man. Well, actually, one more thing. This is actually like a fun little note, not to like swerve completely off course, but that's what we're doing. But I was on my walk this morning and I was listening to not an old episode. I honestly don't know. I should really become, better with what I'm about to say on the podcast before like word vomiting. But it was the episode of Call Her Daddy that has like Aisha Curry and is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
And Khloe Kardashian, Lauren Graham, and Chelsea Handler, and they're all talking
They
about
were
like.
all on this podcast.
Well, no, she had. It sounded like she had cut. So she is making her own episode about like females. Hold on, let me just stop competing with other women, featuring Khloe Kardashian, Lauren Graham, Chelsea Handler, and Aisha Curry. And then it sounds like when I was listening, it sounded like she had reached out to them with like certain questions and then came back to like put it all together, while also like after asking a question that was like, what is like the best thing about being a woman, and then would ask each of them, not all together, separately, it sounded
Okay.
like. But
That's cool.
I forget what the question was. I think it was like, what's your favorite thing about being a woman? And Aisha Curry had said something that was like the word that came to her mind was like transformation. And she used this metaphor that was like, how special is it that women basically are constantly in the cycle of like caterpillar to butterfly, caterpillar cocoon to butterfly, caterpillar cocoon to butterfly, like not only like physically with our cycles, but like mentally, emotionally, like spiritually, just constantly like in this moment, constantly wanting to grow, then in this like hibernation, like really like inward reflection, to then this like confident going out, to then back, like this constant cycle. And it just really got me thinking, to tie it back to today's episode, just with like constant growth, like if there is like a reach back out, you do break no contact or whatever, is like there's constant growth and that's beauty. But just as like a deeper thought that I will carry with me through the rest of the week and a while, of just like how special of like even in the hard moments and difficult times, and when I feel like I'm like in the like literal shit of like, it's just the cycle. It's not forever. It's not gonna last forever. I really shouldn't keep up with it. In fact, I should look at it as this like beautiful thing and opportunity that myself, like embracing it as like my femininity of like, I can take this and cocoon with it and then grow into something special. I don't know. I was just like very woo-woo about it this morning on my walk, and I was like, I don't know
like
if I
that.
can make it a full episode, but I
Yeah.
think it's like a fun note to bring, a little different than today's thing.
No,
but
it's true. I do think like high school Erica and Erica today, there is less of this, like, if you had asked me in high school if someone's friends with an ex, I would like constantly be like, it's the girl's fault, like she's manipulative, it's her issue. And I don't think that way anymore, because I'm like, it takes two to tango. I will always take the woman's side. And like, yeah, I think it's awesome that we do have that ability to transform constantly and to think differently, and to like, we've recorded episodes now for like years, and I know listening back that I would say things differently than I did years ago,
Yeah.
or have different opinions on things. So maybe we'll talk about this in 2028 and I'll be like, I'm besties with all my exes.
if that's the case, just take me out. I've obviously had a mental breakdown. I'd be like, are all your exes in the room with you now? Oh man, psycho.
funny.
Anyway, yeah, that was my little
That's
my
good.
little nugget of facts and feelings for the
love
episode. So yeah.
I'm gonna go listen to that one. If you're friends with an ex, let us know why.
Good luck. Yeah, tell us why.
And Polite as Fuck Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review, subscribe, like us, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.